Things are heating up as Connor McGregor allegedly called out Jake Paul after his win against Platinum Mike Perry. In a recent tweet, Connor McGregor seemed absolutely furious at Jake Paul and disturbingly called him very demeaning terms. Connor made excuses for Mike Perry's loss to Jake Paul by saying that a 40-pound weight difference was the reason Perry lost to him. McGregor even accused Jake Paul of using steroids and claimed that he cannot fighting in a real boxing match like in Vegas because if he did, then he would fail the tests. Jake Paul responded to Connor McGregor's absurd remarks about him and said that he should have been in the ring with me instead of smoking crack and talking dirty. Furthermore, Jake Paul claimed that Connor McGregor will do all the crazy stuff, but he will not fight me. Jake shockingly remarked that Connor is owned by Dana White and he can't get out of his contract so he doesn't have a chance to fight me. Paul accused Connor of hiding behind Dana White and making excuses not to fight him, and McGregor will continue to talk shit about Paul but not face him in the ring. Jake commented that he wants a bigger challenge than Connor McGregor, which is Alex Pereira, the heavyweight UFC world champion.
So you're a piss bag, basically.
Thank you. Angry cokehead. I mean, the guy's on Twitter, the guy's on yachts, the guy's on cocaine, but he's not in the ring winning fights like me, so he could say whatever he wants. I think it's kind of funny that he's just tweaking geeked right now, just going crazy.
Jake Paul claimed that Connor McGregor is probably drunk and watching the Perry versus Jake fight on a yacht while smoking weed, so he's out of his mind as he tweets terrible stuff about Paul. Jake Paul further commented on McGregor's absurd claims on the 40-pound weight difference, and he believes that this is common in boxing. He said, "I didn't see that coming because people say everything about weight difference, 40 this, 40 that, whatever. Mike, I was 212 in the ring tonight, so 10-pound difference, that's common in boxing, but Alex Pereira rehydrates to 240, that's big. So I want someone who, when I f them up, like I did tonight, there is no excuses. Alex Pereira, 6'4", 240 pounds, kickboxing, world champion, 2-division champion in UFC when I beat him. What the f can they say?" Jake Paul lashed out on the critics that claimed that Jake couldn't beat his next opponent, but then he actually did. Paul claimed that people have been writing him off ever since he was 8 years old, but they have been proven wrong time and time again. Paul claimed that he saw Alex Pereira's tweet on turning to boxing from UFC and who anyone thinks should be his opponent. Jake took this tweet to heart and face-teamed Alex Pereira, the 2-division world champion in MMA and kickboxing, after his fight with Mike Perry.
I think it's kind of funny that he's just tweaking geeked right now, just going crazy like that, and you know, he won't fight me. I've said it since a long time ago. Conor McGregor, he's owned by Dana White. He probably can't get out of his contract, but that's what he'll hide behind because he's not gonna get in there. So all the shit talk, all of that, he won't put it on the line. And I want a tougher challenge than McGregor. I want Alex Pereira. I want the light.
Jake claimed that he wants to fight Alex if the UFC allows it. He showered praises over himself and claimed that he beat Anderson Silva, Tyron Woodley, and now he beat Mike Perry, which were all capable UFC fighters. Just like all the other UFC stars that Jake Paul has put down, he intends to knock out Alex Pereira if he is given the chance. Jake loves upsetting people, and he loves to prove people wrong, so he will do it again. When Jake was asked if there was any specific reason he called out Alex, because Pereira is under the UFC contract, so it will be tough for him to get out of that. Jake responded by saying that he wants everybody in a fight. The sole reason why Jake wants to fight anybody he wants is because he loves this sport and he wants to smoke the biggest fighters. Jake Paul said that Alex wants to get into boxing because he tweeted in the past, and Paul asked Alex if he can get out of his contract, then they should fight each other. Meanwhile, in another interview, Jake Paul's father, Greg Paul, called out Michael Bisping, the former UFC fighter after the Paul versus Perry fight. Greg claimed that Michael Bisping has been giving Paul a hard time on social media, accusing Jake of not being a genuine boxer. Before the fight, Bisping claimed that Mike Perry is going to pull apart Jake Paul, but the outcome was quite the contrary. Greg claimed that Jake is the face of boxing right now. After 20 years, people are going to look back and say that Jake Paul was the person who saved boxing. On the opposite end, as soon as Mike Perry lost to Jake Paul, Connor McGregor took to social media and astonishingly fired the bare-knuckle champion, Mike Perry, from the BKFC. Jake Paul was surprised to hear the news of Connor firing Mike, but he expected as such and said that it's really f***ed up that McGregor fired his only BKFC champion. Jake Paul elaborated his remarks by saying that it was always going to happen. Connor was big upping his boy Mike Perry before the fight, but Jake was committed to beating Mike. Jake said, "Okay, Connor, after I f up Mike Perry, then you're next." When Jake Paul and his team heard the news of Connor McGregor firing Mike Perry, they offered their condolences and supported Mike Perry by offering him a job.
What I thought, MMA fighters hit harder than boxers, especially when he's a brawler like that. And Mike Perry apparently got fired from the BKFC by Conor McGregor.
It's actually kind of sad. I don't like it.
It is sad. No, it's sad. It's horrible.
Yeah, especially because he's like, bro, when you're promoting a fight, you can't be friendly with people, but I think he's awesome.
Yeah,
he's funny.
He's fucking
he's
hilarious.
great at
Excellent.
promoting.
Mike's fantastic. He's magnetic.
It was hard to talk to him the whole entire week because I thought he was hilarious, but obviously they're selling a fight and hyping it up. But everyone in the comments was saying, I think Jake and Mike are going to be lifelong friends, and I think it could happen. But
Jake Paul mockingly stated that since Mike Perry has been fired from the BKFC, we will be offering him a role at our company because we are the Florida guys. Logan Paul, on the other hand, said that this is just like a spit in the face for Mike Perry because it just means that Perry can't fight and he should retire. Jake Paul stated that he's giving Mike Perry another stream of income. However, Jake was unsure which position he will give Mike Perry, as that will be discussed when Mike gets into an agreement. Meanwhile, in another interview, BKFC champion Mike Perry was asked about his history with Connor McGregor when he fired Mike Perry from BKFC. Perry responded by saying that Connor has no authority of firing me since we are both champions of the UFC.
Mike, Eric Jr. post. Connor McGregor tweeted about the Dirty Boxing Championship logo and stuff like that. Is there any backstory that you have with him about the logo and stuff?
No, man, I appreciate you talking about it, whatever. He doesn't have a promotion because me and him are both owners of BKFC, so he can't fire me. We can fight in bare knuckle. Look at me, I lost to Jake Paul. Why don't you go fight Jake Paul in boxing with the gloves on?
Mike Perry told the interviewer that McGregor should fight Jake Paul with boxing gloves on, and the fight will turn out even worse for Connor. Furthermore, Mike was asked about his next move after losing to Jake Paul, to which he responded that he will be taking some time off to go for a vacation with the family. Perry will be taking care of his body and will not be partying hard because that will harm his body. He will get back into the gym when he feels better. Perry painfully regrets his defeat against Jake Paul and claimed that he should have done better, but Jake was a little too fast and a little too sharp for him. Furthermore, Mike Perry was asked if he sees himself going back to boxing after his loss to Jake Paul. Perry responded by saying, "Well, my last one was 9 years ago, and it's coming, and I tried to give them a fight, and it just doesn't look like that's the thing for me, but I'll probably get back in the gym because that's all I know. And I'll train and I'll try to get better. And I use it as a mental health thing. I train in the gym to be a better person." In another interview, Jake Paul was asked how he feels about preparing to fight Mike Tyson. He responded by saying that he's ready to face the beast that everyone claims Tyson to be. Moreover, Jaka Paul's manager shockingly lashed out on the reporter for bringing the question of Mike Tyson's age into the mix. The reporter told Jakey's manager that Mike Tyson is 53 years old, and Paul's manager shot down the interviewer's remarks by saying, "No, he's not," and allegedly asked to change the question. It is evident that Mike Tyson wants to beat Jake Paul because he is anxiously waiting to knock the lights out of the Disney kid Jake Paul. Mike Tyson turned to social media after Jake Paul defeated Mike Perry and started counting down the time before both fighters face each other. Jake Paul's big brother Logan Paul was interviewed on the outcome of Mike Tyson vs. Jake Paul fight, and he confidently claimed that "My brother is going to end Mike Tyson."
Mike Tyson, bro, the same thing would happen to Mike Tyson. It's like everyone, I said this about Mike Perry. Anyone who thought Mike Perry was going to beat Jake is a fucking fool. And honestly, people who think Mike Tyson's going to beat Jake aren't fools, but Jake will end Mike Tyson's whatever he's doing.
Logan Paul absolutely ridiculed Mike Perry after the fight when he said that, "I love tough guys for my brother because that means he gets the chance to beat them up big time." Logan further elaborated that Mike Perry was really tough, but that fight was nothing but a beatdown. When you talk about boxing, you talk about a person that's trying to kill you, because that's what boxing is all about. Logan appreciated his younger brother Jake's boxing by saying that he was super tough, and I was really entertained, and I am so proud of my brother. Logan Paul was further asked how the Paul brothers come out of adversity time and time again, to which he responded by commenting, "That's who they are." Paul also said, "That's just the way we are. We're fighters. We're fighters. We're not scared of conflict. We lean into that. We certainly aren't going to let strangers tell us who they think we are or let their opinions affect us. In fact, it fuels us." Logan Paul felt worried when Jake Paul started taking punches from Mike Perry in round 3 and 4, but Jake did not run away. He punched harder and even better, so it snatched Mike Perry's soul to the point that even smaller jabs were enough to drop him. Furthermore, Logan Paul was asked about the news that Connor McGregor fired Mike Perry, to which he responded that Connor is a terrible person. When Mike Perry's winning, McGregor is at his side to support him, and when he loses, then Connor drops him like he doesn't even know him. Logan further went on to give McGregor advice about his pathetic behavior, that he should be a better leader. Logan claimed that Connor does not want to admit that Jake Paul is a better fighter than him. Later on, Logan Paul was asked if Connor McGregor would fight his younger brother Jake Paul, so Paul's dad jumped in and started punching the camera, giving the analogy of what would happen if Connor and Jake fought.
Shit happens. Jake's tough, Connor. Admit it. Admit it. Jake's tough, bro.
Will he fight him? Would he fight your brother? You think he would fight your brother? Or you think he wouldn't take that risk? Tell us, Dad. Oh, shit, that hurt.
That's right. That's right.
Who do you think Jake Paul will face against next after Mike Tyson? Let us know in the comments section below.